Sessions Finish. Textile. White boy buzzed head 8 Mile. Shit goes hard. A reptile. Cold as fuck, no love reptile. I'm sky. I'm sky high. I'm sky. Undiscovered strategy, undercover, smooth as butter rubbers. Yeah, Georgia is for lovers. Can find another Loch Ness monster, wide as a lake. Jenny Craig can't shed this blubber. I'm high, I'm sky high, I'm sky. I'm sky high. I'm sky. I'm sky high. I'm sky high. I'm high enough. Dish Rosie Duck. Sitting on his gold. I'm high enough. Motherfuckers blow it up. Spin on stick stuff. Went through his deep shit. Y'all fools living a rut high. I'm high. I'm sky high. I'm sky. 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 I'm sky.
Yes, here we are again. We have made it another day. We're back. It's Friday night. Hell yeah, party people. How we feeling? I got this fresh cut. Head's all clean. I got some new mic settings over here, so those might sound a little bit different. Who knows? You know, we'll poll the audience here shortly, so you guys can let me know how it's sounding. But for now, it's Friday, baby. I'm ready to rock. Ready to do this thing. Feeling relatively high energy somehow. I was like 7 o'clock rolled around. I woke up at 7 a.m. this morning because I'm a fucking old man now. And that's just when I wake up, apparently. Can't help it. Can't do anything to change it, but that's just my luck, baby. Honestly, it's kind of nice. I'm more productive in the mornings. It lets me kind of get my groove on before anything else can kind of come into my worldview. It's nice. It's a little bit of Nettie D's time. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, got hit like 12 hours later, 7 p.m., and I was sitting on the couch, like, falling asleep, ready to get in here and pick this energy up, players. Who knows what today will bring? Who knows what tonight's song will be like? Who knows what the vibe is right now? Not me. I don't know. All I know is I've been, like, trying to, like, stretch and grow in between these streams too. I've been doing a lot of growing within the streams, which has been awesome. We've been writing killer songs. We've been doing a lot of different genres, you know, kind of have looked back over and have done a lot of, like, R&B, a lot of pop, a lot of kind of like pop house, which like sometimes, I mean, most of the time those are kind of interchangeable, you know, a la Avicii or whatever, Channel Trace, whatever, blah, 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 right? But been doing a lot of fun stuff too with like, you know, kind of classic Ned, like Sorry Party style, kind of like rock turned into pop, which has been really fun. I've done some country songs, did like a weird, you know, like 2000s Americana pop hit on St. Pat's, which was super fun. Just been doing all kinds of stuff. You know, like I said, just like stretching the legs. But now what I've also been doing within this same space is, like I said, in between the streams, I've been trying to do some learning. So we'll have some like subtly different things happening tonight. I will talk about them specifically as I'm doing them for all the folks who are interested in producing music through Ableton, and really just producing music in general. I'm still like in the part of the journey, and this is like classic Ned Dirt part of the journey. You know, this is where I thrive, is in this part of the journey where I have just relied on like natural just like kind of know-how and talent without doing much work or research. And I've just like kind of let, you know, previous experience and tribal knowledge and intuition and whatever guide me up until this point, right? And what I've been feeling the last couple of weeks is that, like, I think maybe I've reached the limit of growth that I can do without intentionally pursuing growth, right? Without intentionally pursuing learning and new knowledge and new tricks and new ways to do this thing that is, you know, there are so many like big heads in who have, you know, so many helpful tips and tricks and techniques and styles and blah, 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 right? So I've just kind of started dipping my toe in, you know, kind of like tertiarily, like adjacent to learning, just kind of like reading stuff very unintentionally, gathering what I can from like not thinking about it too hard. But then this morning I started actually taking a course on how to really today, like this morning's course was how to mix in reverb and delay, which are two things that I use profusely. Just like, I think that's, if I'm going to have a signature thing at this point, it's like killer melodies, strong vocals, and just like, oh my God, so much reverb and delay on any number of things, right? Yeah, I found out this morning that I've been doing it somewhat incorrectly so far, which, you know, was kind of this like, you know, kind of light going off moment that I got really excited about. And, really honestly, just kind of like, you know, very clearly shines a light on why one should pursue learning and honing the craft of the thing that they're spending a lot of time doing. Because one, there's a lot more enjoyment to be had when you have more tools in your tool belt, and are, especially when you're kind of naturally a creative person already, you already have the ability to like bend and mold and twist around and like take an object and look at it here and kind of Rubik's Cube it, or, you know, shine a light on it in this way, or maybe from this angle, and you'll notice something different, or you'll catch the reflection off of whatever this thing is onto the wall, and maybe that's telling you something, right? Like that, this is the power of creativity. But when you have more tools in your tool belt, you actually have the ability to turn it in different ways and shine different lights on it, or, you know, put it into a different thing and see how it behaves there, or, right? Like there are just a lot of reasons why, or ways in which a craft is enhanced by just learning more. And then on top of that, I get to kind of gain efficiency, gain like shortcuts, gain ways of doing things that I've always said, like, there must be a way to do this. Surely there must be a way to do this. So anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get deeper into it tonight. So like once we start adding reverb and delay to things, which we all know won't be that far from now, I'll talk more about that and talk a little bit about like what this change in philosophy and change in technique is. And then, we'll keep on moving through it, because the ultimate goal here, as is true with every one night song, right? In this 4-hour window, my job and all of our jobs together, you guys kind of providing a lot of inspiration, a lot of like idea movement, a lot of like sparks for me to put my coconut shavings on top of to create a fire, right? Like that's kind of y'all's role in all of this. And then also kind of just enjoyment, I hope, and shared community, right? Which is so important to me. But, together with all of that combined, we'll make a good goulash, and this will turn into a fully produced, written song from front to back, start to finish, all in 4 hours, all right before your eyes. So without further ado, let's get into it. All along the way, I'll kind of explain what I'm doing. I'll try to be more talkative. I have, found it easy to slip into the space of, like kind of getting in more of the thoughts of it and diving into that space, and not necessarily, chatting as much as I'd like about what I'm doing. I'm going to try to be a little bit more intentional about that. As we go today. So we've been using Splice, and for all those that don't know, Splice is a sample library. It is a place wherein producers from all over the world can put in their sounds and samples and ideas, throw them all in here, make them available to people like me for download. And then I can use them in songs. It's royalty free. I have heard stories of there being like problematic things wherein, someone has been like, you can't use that was used in my song, but we all are able to use the same samples. I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I will always try to rely mostly on making my own stuff here within Ableton, just because that feels more in the spirit of this thing. But with that being said, sometimes we pull in a bunch of samples and it sounds really great, and it's like fun to play with, and it provides other sparks in the same way that, the chat here can provide to us. So, yes, very excited. This is going to be fun. Let's get into it, man. I'm going to do it then. Here we go. Let's start making the song. Like I said, we've been starting with Splice here. Usually, maybe we'll go to that, but I think what I wanted to do today is kind of start playing around more with some of these inherent effects that are within Ableton. So what I'm going to start by doing is I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to pull in Analog Lab, which I think it was like Tuesday of last week was kind of misbehaving, but hey, we're here now. Hooray. Super sick guy. We got it up and running. So I want to let's see. What do I want to pull in? Sound effects. Sequence could be cool. We could get some like arpeggiators in here, and we could have like a boop 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 beep boop 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 beep beep boop 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 beep beep. That's what a sequencer would sound like. Or a sequence, or like an arpeggiator would sound like ba 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 ba, and then we can make a sick Nine Inch Nails track if we do that. But I want to just kind of toy around and see what kind of weird pads are like our synth world, right? And pads, I'm not really sure, how to like get in the nitty gritty of like what's different between a pad and a whatever, right? But or really like a pad and any other synth. But to me, pads are like more noisy. They're more atmospheric. They are bigger. They are less like a piano and more just like a sweeping sound or like a soundscape or whatever it might be. So this feels like a fun place for us to start and just kind of dip our beak on in here. I've already knocked the light over on my desk. That did not take long. Holy shit, it's shining right up at my face. So not my favorite lighting effect. I'll be right back.